Hey guys, this is part two to the latest video I just uploaded to my channel before this one. So this is the continuation of it, right? I made another video before this one, but I had to delete it because I was getting a little bit off topic, and I'm like, we're not staying on point with what I'm trying to get to. So I had to delete it and retry this. Okay, the other stuff I want to talk about is not you can't put in the same video. I'm going to do another separate video on that. I tell you, I have a lot of things to talk about. I could sit here and just do this like a diary for like the next 30 days. It would be fun. Um, in any case, though, I do want to. So I'm going to continue on with what about the psychic twins and like why I think our connection, something happened there, right? So to understand that, I want to bring you back to how I kind of started on YouTube and how I interacted with people and how I connected with people and how that all came about, right? In any case, so again, I'm going to try. I apologize. I'm going to try to do this within, again, 50 minutes, if not less. If not, it will not go over an hour. I'm not going to make an over an hour video. It just seems like when people see an over an hour, they're like, oh, hell no. But if they see like 50 minutes, okay, fine. If you have time to listen to it or hear it, or put it in your car, or you're on your audio system, whatever, fine. So, something should change. I was showing you the video in the last video about, how they put me in their collaboration for their video, like their fans, their own personal predictions. So around, I want to take you back further in time before that, so you can kind of understand like how this all connects to Shane Dawson and everything, right? Because I think he's the common denominator and why something in my, I don't want to say relationship, but my cordial, formal, relationship I had with the psychic twins before all this changed somewhere in 2018, 2019 was because of him, I think. Now, look, if I'm wrong about any of this in the future, or there's proof given to me that shows the contrary, I won't be upset at all. Like, I won't stop my feet and say that's not true. Like, I will believe it, right? I've never had an answer given to me for it, but at the same time, life is wisdom, and going to school for this and learning what production is and learning editing techniques and learning how things happen behind the scenes, like not just like the aesthetic and technical points of it, actually like the business psychological standing point of the business, you start to realize things, right? And so I feel like for me, that's one of the main goal points here, So with that being said, I'll be 28 in May, this May coming up. I started watching YouTube, like actual YouTubers in 2008. Was it 2008? No, maybe 2009, a year later, yes. In '09, I was watching like OG YouTubers. And I'm talking people before, again, I know you're all thinking, oh, like Shane Dawson, Jeffrey Star. No. Before Fred, even before Chris Crocker, who's now Garrett Cunningham, was Chris Crocker, right? Before I said Jenna Marbles, before Lucas Cruikshank was doing the Fred stuff. Like, I'm talking like OG YouTubers, right? Like Nut Cheese, Renetto, Naltz, Philip DeFranco was around at that time. Like, he was an OG. He's an OG because he's still doing it. Cassim G. I think Shay Carl came a bit later. Mitchell Davis was around doing stuff. I'm trying to think of the other people. I can't think. I don't know. There's just a few other people I was watching at that time. They were funny and just entertaining or whatnot. But so I was watching all those people, right? Now, before I go into that story and how that connects to everything, but again, I'm just trying to give you the light, right? Because Shane, they all were doing. Most of those people I just mentioned got the offer to do. I know Renetto did, and another guy did. Got the offer to do the first Google partnership YouTube offered them, like the first partnership, like to actually make money and do it, like to make videos, like to actually get paid for it. But then Shane, I know for a fact, was in the second group of people for the Google partnership in '07, or maybe it was '08 that it came around. I can't remember, but he was in the second group that got offered the pay stuff to do it, for the Google partnership stuff. But anyway. Really quick, so Shane, I found, okay, it's all connected like this. So Shane Dawson, I found by accident through people that I was the OG YouTubers I was watching. Like I said, Naltz, who is Kevin, who's very nice. Doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, but he's one of the OG YouTubers. He's one of the first people to do it. Very funny, like very kind of sketchy but comedic, but like the way it was like the early way of how YouTubers were doing like comedic videos and like doing like sketchy kind of stuff. He had a video that I found on a recommendeds page from America's Funniest Videos, and he was doing like a sketch kind of thing of America's Funniest bloopers. And it was like him with his father-in-law and him like falling off a bike and falling down the stairs, and then like, you know, him falling off a ladder and getting electrocuted, all this kind of funny stuff. It was good, right? It was like spoofing stuff, you know. He was always good with that kind of stuff. He always was able to like market himself and get like, you know, in the recommendeds and like, you know, not whore himself out, but at least like get into the other get into like recommended pages like with his thumbnails and everything. Like he was very good. He understood it very well. Through him, I found another guy who I'm not going to name because he unfortunately passed away. He was also an OG YouTuber. He passed away last April. I did not know until June of last year. I was devastated to know that he passed away. He was battling cancer. He went in remission, but he got another type of cancer, and he went to the hospital, I believe, and passed away, which was very sad. I adored him. He had talk about someone who lived an amazing life. Was in a band for several years and based out of New York City. He he was, I would consider them OG, like, you know, story time videos, like him just sitting down talking about his life, like amazing stories too. He just had and he did he had like an alter ego persona going on when he would tell these stories from who he really was off camera. He was awesome. But like I said, he's passed away, so I don't really want to bring him into something that's he can't, you know what I mean? It's not right. And so, but again, like he's not part of this in any way. It's just like, I just, through his Facebook account, I found, you know, other stuff that happened. So I never told him about any of this, but you know, I had him on Facebook. I had him when I was 19 years old. So yeah. So I guess now it would be be 9 years ago now. Yeah. So through Naltz, I found the other person's account, this other OG YouTuber, because he did like a prank on him with like a garage sale prank, because they lived like close to each other at the time in Pennsylvania. And I started watching his videos, and I can't remember. I think he brought up Shane Dawson in a video or something like that, because like he was so like enthralled with like these younger YouTubers coming up after they already had been there for over 2 years, right? Or actually 3 years almost, because he was making this was in 2009, and I think he and Naltz were both making videos in 2006 when YouTube. Yeah, they were on YouTube for 3 years by that point. So he was on YouTube and everything and doing stuff. And so I was very interested in knowing, you know, how, like, you know, like I was talking about all these people. And I started seeing, like, and around the same time, Shane Dawson was starting to blow up. So, like, his videos would get recommended to me in my on the recommended side of the videos, right? Of the video you were watching at the time, right? So I'm like, well, this guy keeps talking about him, and Naltz brought him up once or twice, so I'll talk about him. I'll go watch him. So I did. Now here's the thing. I had to be honest with you. I love Shane Dawson's vlogs every week. Like he would for people. I don't know if anyone my age is even around watching this video I'm making, but Shane used to do like the sketches every week, right? I can't remember if he put the behind the scenes vlog footage on Saturdays. I think it was Saturdays, because he would upload the sketch video every Friday. I think. I don't remember. I think it was every Saturday. I think though that's how, because he didn't do it on Sunday. He took Sundays off. Yeah. And he just upload the sketches during the week and did the stuff behind the scenes. So anyway, that's also how I used to do with a lot of these, like Colleen Ballinger, same thing. I wasn't watching their main channel like character stuff and sketches. Like I was watching their behind the scenes stuff, because again, full circle, here I am. I graduated from television and film production school. So again, it's like, you know, I had my film and television production degree. So it's like, hello, a full circle. It makes sense why back then I was so interested in learning like what they were doing behind the scenes versus their actual sketch stuff, you know? So I really only watched that stuff. Like I didn't feel comfortable watching like his main channel stuff. I felt like it was a little too, because I just turned 13 in that May in 2009. So I felt a bit, I don't know. I just felt a bit like it wasn't meant for me, right? Like I was like, this is like for someone who's 16 or 17 years old. I'm 13. Like I'm not supposed to be watching this, you know? It kind of made me uncomfortable at the time. But I loved his behind the scenes stuff. Like he would film with Shauna. They would go out to dinner. Like he would do it. Like it was like clips of them during the week when they would be filming everything. getting all the actors to his house and filming stuff, him with his mom behind the scenes, like, preparing, like, getting the food for everybody, him, like, like going out after, like, they filmed something with him, like him and Lisa that he knew, like all the group of people he was knowing. Who was that one guy that they used to work with all the time too? His last name was Green or something. It wasn't Hank or John Green. It was the other Green guy. Can't remember his name, but he was always around too. I remember that guy too. And Kasim G came out around a few times and stuff. I love Kasim G. His stuff in Venice Beach, or was it Marina? Not Marina Del Rey. Was it Venice Beach? Or Santa Monica, because he used to do his that stuff was funny. But anyway, so again, that kind of stuff, like, and again, of course years later you see like where some of the problematic stuff came from, because hello, like even back then it's like you don't. Anyway, that's a different story for a different day. But I just remember being so enthralled with that kind of stuff. Like I love learning about this world, like it's so different, And so anyway, so flash forward, because again, I stopped watching all his stuff like at the end of 2011, because that's when he started dating Lisa. And for me, when you can tell, like, I don't know, I just have this natural thing, like I have pretty good intuition most of the time. I've got gut instinct, but I don't know, something just felt off to me when he started dating Lisa. I was like, I don't know if they're that happy, or it's very struggle, like they're stressed out because like they're trying to make it work. I don't know what's going on, but I just didn't feel comfortable watching him anymore. And he's like changed the format up of doing like behind the scenes stuff. It was like more of them together, like going on vacations and everything. I'm like, well, I'm out because I don't want to watch this. I want to see the behind the scenes stuff of you making the freaking sketches. So, adios. Same time, I was graduating for 8th grade and going to high school. So I'm a year older than my graduating class. So I was already like in 2011, like I was already 14. So I was like, I was turning 14. No, or 15. Jesus. Yeah, I was turning 15. Yeah, I turned 15, going into high school. So so I mean, and all of the other YouTubers, I felt the same way. When like, these people are all fake. They're all just like BSing. Like they're all changing. I don't like this. Like I don't see like the actual production stuff. I don't care about your BS relationships. Like something changed with YouTube at that time too. It was like, and not a good golden age. Like the golden age of YouTube, I think is still 2014, 2013 to 2015, but that's a different story. But again, yeah, I didn't like it. We went from like behind the scenes footage. Like a lot of people were doing that. Things changed. It was really odd. But anyway, so I stopped watching YouTube, like that kind of stuff, like YouTubers and influencers doing stuff like that for the 4 years I was in high school. It wasn't until when I went back to college in 2016 that I was reintroduced to Shane Dawson and his videos, and then through him learning who all these other people were who were now famous on YouTube at that point, right? I didn't even know Shane came out until 2016. I didn't know, or maybe I actually did know a bit earlier. I think a month later, I think I was the only thing I watched of his, but then that was it. So I was like, yeah, I did, because it was 2015. I was like, oh my God, he got divorced, or he didn't divorce. He broke up with Lisa. I was like shocked. But in any case, so flash forward. It's now 2016. Like I said, it's March 2016, 8 years ago. Actually, to this weekend, I think. Actually, it was the first weekend of March that year before I went on my spring break that I was watching all his stuff. And so like I said, I had added Kevin Naltz and the other YouTuber, the other OG YouTuber on Facebook, like when I was 19 in 2015. And I adored them. I thought they were really nice guys. Again, not close to them in any way, like the Sluggy Twins, but again, I'm cordial and very, very nice to each other when we do talk, very briefly, but again, just I like keeping up with them, or when the other one was still alive, keeping up and seeing what they were posting and everything, Now on the OG YouTubers Facebook page, I would occasionally post things about the old days of YouTube, and then the other OG YouTubers who we was still friends with would write things on his Facebook wall. I would go, oh my God, like I remember that. I remember Nut Cheese, like she was awesome. Or I remember Renato when he was on YouTube, it was awesome, So to see them all writing things and talking about stuff was awesome. And like, here's the thing, right? Even though I was like 19, 20, I was about to turn 20 when I was like doing this, I wasn't trying to add these people on Facebook, right? The only reason I added Naltz and Kevin and the other one, the OG YouTuber, was because they kind of made it. Well, Kevin didn't say yes they could do, but he added me anyway. But the other one said, if you want to add me on Facebook, like I don't care. Like if you're not weird, I'll add you on Facebook. I'm like, okay, cool, steal. And I'm like, deal. So I did. But when he was like talking to these other OG YouTubers on his Facebook, I wasn't like going through and, like trying to add them or like their posts. I just was like, it's like going through old pictures and going, oh my God, I remember that person or I remember this. You know what I mean? Like people that you kind of briefly encountered at one time in your life. So I don't know who it was. I remember one of the YouTubers, the OGs, and they were like, "Oh my God!" I remember when we were first got the email from Google saying they were going to put us in the partnership program. I was so excited. I'm like, "Oh my God, I remember that guy!" And so I like clicked on his profile. All this stuff was public, and he's like, he had kids now, he had a wife. I was like, "Oh my God!" Like he's married. He's older now. I couldn't believe it. I was like shocked. I was like, "Oh my God!" I feel old. He must be old too. And he got divorced from the first wife or something. I was like, oh Jesus, I was like, I didn't even know the first girlfriend was a wife. It was interesting. It was just crazy when you go back and like see things and it's like, oh my God, time does go fast. But in any case, so I'm going through and I'm like finding because again back then. Oh, and real quick, if someone can let me know. I heard this years ago about Facebook that if you were friends with a celebrity on Facebook or had a mutual friend of a celebrity's on Facebook and they also were mutual friends with that same mutual friend, that you would be able to see their Facebook profile if they used a special feature that they were given by Facebook. So like, for example, if you weren't friends with that mutual friend on Facebook, you wouldn't even be able to find their Facebook, like search it up in the search bar. Like it wouldn't even show up. Like it would be like semi-private, like, how some people do their Facebook, like or it used to be that way. Like you'd say, I don't show make my account private. Don't show my name up in search results on the search bar in Facebook. But that was apparently a special feature that celebrities could get, or influencers at the time could get too. So if that's true, let me know in the comments. Because I heard that, but I don't know if it's true. But again, kind of going with what I'm talking about now and what Shane Dawson I saw did with other YouTubers, I have to believe that's somewhat true. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm going through and I'm like, oh my God, I remember this person and that person. And again, like I said, I'm not adding these people or liking their stuff. I'm just going through, like, oh my God, it's like, this is awesome, Then I see it says mutual friends, and it says friends, and then it says mutual friends of yours with someone else, or no, it said friends list. And so I looked at their friends, and it said, or no, I know how it happened. It was on someone's, so I'm like, I know, okay. So I went back to the OG YouTuber's Facebook. I'm like, well, if he knows all these people, I wonder who else like he's friends with, like from the OG YouTube days. I want to see what's going on with everybody, right? So I scroll down, and I see Shane Yaw, and I'm like, Shane Yaw, there's no way this is Shane Dawson. Like, there's no way this is Shane Dawson's Facebook account. But then it said mutual friends, Kevin Naltz, and then the other OG YouTuber I was looking at. I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that this is this person, And I'm like, there's no way it's Shane Dawson. And I'm like, so I click on the account, and lo and behold, it looked like Shane Dawson's Facebook account because he was mutual friends with the other two OG YouTubers. And I'm trying to remember actually, like, how they actually knew each other. I think Naltz met. I don't think Naltz met Shane actually, but I think the other guy did. I think my other OG YouTuber that I knew did meet Shane at one point or another, or like he knew him I forget how, but like they knew who he was, right? Because like he was one of the original people there, but just not the OOG like they were, right? But so like they would have added him on Facebook, so it made sense, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like this is Shane Dawson's account, like his actual Facebook account. I'm going through everything and I'm reading stuff, and like he had people were following him on Facebook, so I'm guessing like fans like were able to find him somehow, some way. I don't know, because like there were so many followers, but like you could also the add friend thing wasn't there, or was it? I don't remember. I don't think it was there, or maybe I don't remember. I can't remember. I think it wasn't. I think he hid it because he didn't want people adding him as friend on Facebook. But anyway, so I'm going through it, and I'm like, at first I was convinced it wasn't really him. Right? I'm like, this is like a catfish account. Like this is not him. But then I'm like, but then how would he know that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would Naltz and the other OG YouTuber add him? Like, if they knew it was a cat, like, what, they wouldn't do that, right? Like, or vice versa, like, how would that person catfish to, like, add them on Facebook? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't work like that. So I'm watching and I'm like, oh my god, like this, like I'm going through. I'm like, oh my god, this is his Facebook account because like he was like talking about like what should I do next week for my video, and someone was like, oh, put like a Barbie doll in a waffle maker, and he was like, oh, haha, I should do that. And then literally the week after, there's a video about that. So I'm like, there's no way that like someone like faked this and was able to figure out he was going to do that on video until a week later, right? Like there's no way. So I'm like, this is his account. So I'm going through it and everything. And I'm like, what? Like the more you get, and so I'm going like I started going. So I kind of like went down the rabbit hole a bit because I'm like, what's going on here, you know? And I found other accounts, and again, allegedly. And look, these accounts were public to me. I was able to see everything and read their stuff on their wall. It's not like they were private and I was like looking at information I wasn't supposed to be looking at. Okay, so what I'm telling you is alleged. I don't know if it was the real accounts or not, but I just find it fishy how they knew things before they was even released to the public on YouTube. So I'm just saying, I think it's their actual accounts. Personal opinion, okay? Allegedly. So I'm going through and I see like a Joey Graceffa account, like it was like I don't know if I should say the name of it because I don't even know if he still has it, but it was like Joey's name, but like a fake last name or like his middle name or whatever, and like it had like it was like an anime thing, like of him, like a sketch of him, like as a profile picture. You would click on it and it was like all his stuff, like there's no pictures on it, like very bare, but like the activity on the wall was going crazy on his Facebook wall. I found Daniel Prater's Facebook. Gabby Hanna was friends with all of them. Tyler Oakley, Connor Franta, Joey Graceffa's dad was on there. I'm trying to think who else. There's a few other. Oh, Sawyer Hartman. There's so many of these YouTubers who were like all like friends with each other on Facebook. I also saw Trisha's Facebook, but she was not active. Like Trish, and she even admitted that later. And I think on a podcast, she's like, "Yeah, I never was on Facebook." She's like, "I had a Facebook account, I just never used it." And that was true. It was bare bones, you know. So the video I'm gonna make, I'm gonna talk about like how all their stuff and their drama was like in like together and like was like messy, like in the next video, because again I want to stay on track with Shane Dawson stuff and the video pertaining to the Psychic Twins in the last video. So that next video will be about all their like drama that I saw and read in their tweet and their posts and their comments underneath these Facebook posts in the next video, because like they were messy. But anyway, so I'm going through and I'm looking at everything and I'm like, oh my god, you know. Now I have to and I hate this. You know what? I'm gonna drink this water. I apologize. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna do this, but every time I do, I get thirsty and like my mouth. It's not so much that it gets dry, but like it. I don't know. Like it just gets like all froggy in my throat. I apologize. Sorry to keep the story going. But anyway, so okay. So Shane, like, okay, and so Peter Monist talked about this. Oh, I forget her name. Sarah. Oh, I can't remember her last name. She wasn't a big YouTuber, but she did commentary stuff back in the day. She was an OG commentary drama channel. She only had like 10 or 20 subscribers. I know she's like 6 or something years older than me, so she's in her 30s by now. But she never made it big. I wish she would have stayed because she was amazing. But she talked about all the same topics I'm talking about now, all the drama and everything. She was awesome. I miss her. If you're watching, Sarah, hi, I miss you. Hope you're doing good. In any case, you know, so other people, I think Adam McIntyre talked about this briefly. Paige Christie, like Shane is out there, like he was up in everyone's business. Like he was liking all these people's tweets, posts on their Facebook, all these other YouTubers, commenting underneath like inside joke stuff and innuendoous things, like things that we wouldn't like as a public understand what they were talking about. Although they wrote some of them wrote some nasty things like we fooled our audience and stuff. Like I wish I could have. Now listen, there was no inclination for me to take screenshots or anything. It's like I'm not famous. Why would I want to do that? Like I was just like I was going down the rabbit hole, guys. I was reading everything. But if that was public today, I'm saying people would have a friggin' fit what they were saying about their own fans behind their backs, allegedly, if it was true. But Shane would like go, oh, don't write that, and like be like being like, you know, like sarcastic, like, oh, people are gonna find it, and winky face and all that stuff, and And so it was very like, I don't know, just the way, and like the way Shane writes, like with his diction, like when he would write comments on YouTube back in the day, is how it was also written in these Facebook comments. So I had to believe it was him too. Okay. Anyway, so I'm looking at everything. I'm like, oh my god, this is his Facebook account. I can't believe it. So like I'm reading everything, and so I'm like, it's crazy, right? And I saw like a post, like and I also know this has to be his account, one of his Facebook accounts, because I found out that Gabby Hanna was dating Andrew Sawicki at the time, and which has later been found was released by Drama Channels, which I found out because I went through Gabby Hanna's account, and Shane had liked it. So Shane knew who Andrew was much earlier than we were all brought on to believe, right? So, because when did they start filming together? It was a bit later than that, but yeah, he was doing, so he knew him like earlier on. But anyway, yeah, or was that later? I don't remember. I can't remember actually if I saw that in 2016 or if that was later in 2017. I can't remember. Anyway, I'll get to it. So I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So I'm like, this is, I had to, like, I stopped myself because I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole. These people are so different than they are on camera. I had to sit back and relax. I had to, like, if I was like 20 or like 25 at that point, I would have had like a stiff drink. Because, like, I couldn't believe all the stuff I was seeing, right? Like, they're saying they're the same people they are on camera as they are off camera. Not really. It's all production stuff. It's all orchestrated. They're not the same. Their personalities are way different than they are on camera. So it was like a wake up call almost. It was like a pulling the rose petals off your glasses, so to speak. It was like, wow, like there's more to this. There's more of a industrious business side to it. We'll just put it that way, okay? So anyway, so I that was the one day I did that. I was going to school. Things were going on with my life. Again, flash forward a couple months later, I go back. And I was like, and again, I'm gonna preface this. I wasn't like going every day looking at Shane Dawson's account. I wasn't doing that. Like I was like, this is my own little secret. I know how to get to it. I can see it myself. I don't know if anyone else can, but I'm sure as hell going to look at it when I have to or when I want to. So I was doing that. I'm listen. I wouldn't be as open as doing that today because I'm older now, and I'm like, I would feel wrong. I felt wrong back then doing it too, but like. I don't see the point in doing that unless I know them personally. It's like, what's the point? It's like, who cares? They're just, and like, I guess the what's the word I'm looking for? The razzle dazzle of who these people are in real life isn't really actually that fun or like actually great. It's like actually kind of sad the way they act. So I don't feel the same way I would back then, Excuse me. So whatever. Besides that point. So right after the election of 2016, I was like on Facebook and I'm looking at stuff and everything because I was in school and like doing stuff. I wasn't on Facebook all the time back then. I'm still not, but back then I was like periodically doing like once a week or something like that. So I thought, you know what? Wouldn't it be great if I went into just to go look at Shane Dawson thing again? It's been like, it's been over 6 months. Let's go see what he's been up to. So I did. So I went in, I'm looking at everything and, and I see that there were posts from the night of the election. Now I'm telling you this because, well, I'll tell you this. Shane Dawson, I'm sure most people know this already, was very close to Joey and Danielle to some degree. During that time, 2015 to 2016, they would send each other text messages and stories and talk to each other a lot. Joey was powering around with Shane, and Shane would power around with him, and blah blah blah. Showy, blah blah blah, whatever. So okay. So Joey, as you know, Joey had the account on Facebook that was friends with Shane's account. They were all friends with each other, blah blah, on their Facebook pages. Also, by the way, Tana Mojo also had a Facebook account, but it was very, how do I put this? It was very professional looking. It looked like she was like a model, like she had like actual headshot and like headshots and like modeling shots done of her. So I have to wonder if like, being in the industry now myself, like if she actually was naturally given her YouTube channel, or if like someone like scouted her out and was like, hey, start this YouTube channel and be like and do story times. I'm serious because I'm like it, or like, because again, it's fascinating the way she acts off camera. Anyway, or if that was even her real account, because Shane was also like all up in her business on her Facebook account, but she wouldn't, like Trisha wasn't messaging everybody. Um, so I'm trying to think. So okay, so the night of the election, Joey and Shane was over Joey's house. Okay, from these Facebook posts, and I can actually give you clarification on that because it's recorded on 2 places that Shane talked about it. So I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, Shane was so Shane was over at Joy Grissett. I'm sorry, I'm starting to lose my track of thought because I'm getting like kind of tired. I apologize. So Shane was over at Joey Grissett's house the night of the election, the 2016 election, and when they were seeing that that Trump was winning and Hillary was losing, they were freaking out. And Shane's writing, "Oh guys, I'm sorry to write this, but we're fucked." And then like Joey liked it and said, "Oh yeah, we are fucked. What are we gonna do? Help us!" And then Daniel had to chime in, of course, like he does, being the big martyr, even on Twitter, like when he would write something. And I'll talk about that stuff one day too in another video. Daniel Prater's hiding his IMDb credit stuff, which is suspicious to me about anyway. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are they over it? And then like they got really drunk and like they're writing, we're really drunk right now, and let's just drink the night away and just forget about all this. And Ryland was actually over there too. Then I remember it. They all 4 were over at Joey's house during the election night. So I'm like, what the hell? And like I remember, and now mind you, I was 20 by this point, right? It was like mid, like the end of November by this point. So I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, I would never, even on my Facebook, if I could drink at that point, I'd be like, I would never be like that drunk and like saying these kind of, like they were like saying really wild shit, guys. Like they were saying things that like you would wake up the next morning and go, oh, I got to delete that comment or that post. Cause that's messy, And I'm like, y'all got to chill out. And like Ryland was writing stuff on his thing and all this. It was just crazy. And then someone wrote, and they were like, "Oh my God, the psychic twins! Like their prediction was wrong." Like in the comments on the Facebook post, right underneath that, the one that Shane said, "Guys, I'm drunk, but Trump's winning. We're fucked." And that's literally close to what he said in that Facebook post. So again, he said that. Shane said that, and I'm like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh God, the person's right that like they're because they said Hillary was going to win their predictions, right?" And I'm like, oh God, that's not good. And so I remember they locked their account because Trump did win or whatever. They went private or whatever, and then that whole thing happened. But then I know what I saw that night was accurate and was actually one of his profiles or his Facebook profiles, because and I'm just assuming he has more than one Facebook profile because. Why would he not? Or at least that was his only one, then that's pretty bad because it was open and I could see all his stuff and it was messy. But on the video where I'm not going to play it because I don't want him to copyright my stuff because I don't want to I don't want to do that in 2 videos in one point. But Shane said, hold on, when was the we were wrong Psychic Twins video?
Blocking people.
Whoa. Yeah, we were wrong. It's on the Psychic Twins channel. It was uploaded November 23rd, 2016. So this was literally a few days after I saw that post on his Facebook. And Shane in this video says I was with Joey, and Joey even made a comment when Trump was winning. He's like, "Oh my God, the Psychic Twins! What were they going to do? They got the prediction wrong." When I was watching this video, I was like, "Oh my God!" Like that, what I just saw on the Facebook was accurate. Like he actually was there that night with Joey Grissett and Daniel Prater, getting drunk and like saying that to them. So I'm like, that's his actual. It was more confirmation that it was actually his actual Facebook profile, right? So that shocked me. And then he also said it again with Joey on on the podcast when Joey and Daniel, or no, when the Psychic Twins went on the podcast again in 2017 with Shane and Friends at Full Screen. They said the same. He said the same thing again. They brought it up and he brought it up again. So again, double confirmation. That also goes to my confirmation that this was actually a Shane Dawson Facebook profile that I had found through my other OG YouTubers that being friends with me on Facebook. So I was like, oh my God, like this is absolute insanity, So So again, fast forward again, like I said, I wasn't going I would check in his Facebook every so often, right? Like I wasn't doing it every day or every week or every month. Um, I did it again in May of 2017, and around that time, I think is when I saw that Gabby Hanna was dating Andrew Sawicki, or they had just broken up or something. And I'm like, oh, so Shane knew who Andrew was by that, because again, also there was a Snapchat of Andrew at Trisha Paytas's party because Gabby Hanna was also there. Isn't that funny when you think back about that? Like they hate each other, or they were fighting for that time, but like Gabby was at her birthday party, like, and like Andrew was like, she was like Gabby Hanna was grinding on Andrew Sawicki, and he was eating the chicken wing. Anyway, um, so yeah, so I checked in again, looking at all his stuff, and he was like, and Shane was telling me like, I'm changing my format up. I hope you all like it. And people were like recommending things. And again, I don't know who these people were that were. I guess they were just fans who found his Facebook, right? Because like they were all young like me. I mean, I was 20 by that point. So some of these people must have been like 18 or 19, like following him on his Facebook, because like I said, like you could follow him, but his add friend thing feature was gone, so you couldn't add him. So I guess he just figured like, well, people, because he even made a comment about it on his podcast years ago, like people always find my stuff, so why not just like put a follow button? But I'm like, well then why not just private your stuff so no one can find your stuff in the first place, dude? Like it still doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Because you would think someone with that level of power, or at least influence in the social sphere, would like be privy to like being aware that people are going to find their stuff. And he always talks about that kind of stuff, like being afraid people are going to find his information, like I did. So like why not? I don't get it. Okay. So long story short, so then so like people are saying stuff, and like he's like, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it. So I think some of the people he actually knew in real life, or like met them from like family members or like friends that he knew from high school or something like that, right? Because like a lot of them live in LA or California. So I don't know if they mean that he worked with them on set somewhere or whatever. I don't know, right? But again, like a lot of people, they were younger, but he must have known them from some like work experience. Long story short, so like again, like periodically look at his stuff again. Well, the next time I did it, right? This was in May of 2018. I was looking at his Facebook, and again, I swear to God, I didn't mean to do it on purpose. It just happened. I slipped and I hit like on one of his posts. I was like, oh shit. So I unliked it really quick because I'm like, because again, I don't know if like he knows, like not a lot of people were liking his stuff. Like a few people were following him, but like not a lot of people, like a few hundred. But his posts weren't getting that many likes. So I'm like, oh God, like what if he sees that I liked that? And I forgot that I liked it. So the next day I went back, I did unlike it. I was like, oh God, don't. So then this was in May of 2018. Like I said, I was like, oh God, I have to stop doing this, because if I keep doing this, like he's going to see like I'm looking at his Facebook and think I'm like some weird creeper person. And like, he thinks like, who the hell is this Andrew Rose kid? Why is he looking at my stuff, So I'm like, I have to stop doing it, because like, it's like God telling me, don't do it anymore. The universe saying, don't do it, Andrew. Stop it. Don't look at it. So I tried to, at least. But then, okay, so I did it. Okay. Yeah, May, I did it. And then I did it one more time, I think in August. And that's the last time I was able to see his profile, because I did it again. In August of 2018, I looked at his profile again after 3 months. I went back after May to look and see what was going on in his life. Because again, that was when he was on the up and up, and like he was doing the big, like, video series with all the YouTubers, and the Trisha thing came out. I think, was the Kathy Griffin thing already out by that point? Yeah. Or was it about to come out? Yeah. Yeah. The Tana Mojo thing had come out already, about TanaCon and all that. So again, all that stuff was already out there. But for me, so I was like going through the stuff. I'm like reading all his stuff. He was very happy. You could tell he's very happy and seeing how everyone's response to his videos were doing better. He was getting more recognition. He was happy about it, right? Well, guess what? I accidentally liked two comments that only got like maybe 30 likes on one of his personal post. And I also wrote, and I also almost shared it by mistake. I was like, oh my God. And so I was like, oh God. And so I tried to like unlike it as fast as I could and get out of his profile, but I was too late, because I tried in September of 2018 or October 2018 to go in and look again. But guess what, guys? His account, I couldn't even see his name come up in my OG YouTuber friend on Facebook's mutual friend list that we had. He was gone. So I had to assume that Shane Dawson realized I was looking at his profile when he thought he didn't want me looking at it, and he blocked me, which is what I think happened, right? Because I did it twice. I liked like 3 of his posts by accident. And I hit it. I'm such a tool. I swear to God. But being that said with being being that said with that said, this is what I think happened. This is the point I'm getting to in this video. I think the Psychic Twins, when they put me in the video, right, in 2018, with the video I showed in the video before this one, with the collab with the predictions, what they did with the fans, I think they liked they liked me, so they pulled it, they put it in the video. I don't think they were having a relationship with Shane where they were like, hey, do you think this comment is good for us using the prediction video? Or hey, do you like this comment put in the prediction video? I don't know. I have a feeling that's what happened though, right? And so, sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. It's been like, I shouldn't have even, okay. I gotta slow down. Someone probably thinks I'm doing drugs or something. I'm not, guys. I don't do drugs or nothing. I have all these health problems, so drugs are less of my ability and natural selection of when to do something. If anything, I'm gonna go get a cold Coca-Cola out of the fridge right now because my throat's killing me. I'm trying to speed this up though too because I don't want to keep it as long as the other video, but it looks like it's going to be that way, so I apologize. But long story short, I don't think the twins were like actively like saying, can we use this comment, or do you think this comment's better than, you know what I mean? I think Shane was editing the videos. I even think Garrett was doing it for a while too, but I don't know about that. But I think Shane was obviously editing the video. They said it, he said it, we know that, that's open knowledge. But I feel like it wasn't a thing of like, well, can we do this or can we do that? I think it was more like, this is what I think you guys should do it, and then we'll just edit it and I'll get it up for you on your Facebook or on your YouTube channel. Fine. So I think that's what happened. What I think what happened in my situation though, after he realized it was me going on his freaking Facebook all the time, and they said my full name in the video, and they said, I think he stopped the recording, or said, hold on a second, how do you know Andrew Rose? He said, oh, he's this guy on Facebook that we met, or he likes your videos, he's younger and he's from New Jersey and blah blah blah. And I think Shane put 2 and 2 together in his dumb mind and thought, oh my God, is this the same Andrew Rose that looks at my page? And I think they realized. So okay, I hope this makes sense. So I think what Shane thought was, oh my God, this kid's like creepy. He's like trying to get close to the Psychic Twins. He's also trying to get close to me. He's looking at all my posts on my personal Facebook. He's like getting into my business. I don't want him getting in my business. At least, I think Shane's mind was like working overtime in that moment, right? Because that jump cut right there that I was talking about in the last video, in their video on their channel with the fans' predictions that I was in part of, I think that he stopped them in midway and said, wait a second, how do you know this kid? How do you know his first and last name? And I think they actually, I feel, in my opinion, my intuition, in my gut instinct, that they said, oh, this is Andrew Rose, and they showed him a picture of me, and he was like, that's the same Andrew Rose that's been on my profile. You got to stop talking to him. I think something like that did happen. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. I think that's what happened. Instead of Shane being a smart person and saying, oh, well, is he, like, how have you known him? Is he a nice guy? Well, who does he know on Facebook? None of that. He just went to the worst case scenario, I think, because after watching him for years on end, I think that's what he did. I don't even think he gave a crap about anything else. Like, asking more questions like that. So I think he made up something in the moment. I think he inserted himself in that situation with them and said, listen, I don't think you should trust him because he's also been looking at my Facebook, and I had to block him because he liked 2 of my posts by accident, and then he unliked him and blah, blah, blah. If he's been liking you, if you've been talking to him for all these years, then you need to get rid of him off of your Facebook, because then he's going to try and get into your information, like try to like come out here and do something with you or me, like just trying to get fame or whatever. That was never the case, okay? Those 2 situations, I didn't know they were going to happen. I didn't know the Psychic Twins were, in 2016 were going to add me to their Facebook in December, like, 9 months later after, I've been talking, 8 months later after I've been talking to, after I've been, I had found Shane Dawson's Facebook around the same time. I didn't know any of this. I had no idea. I didn't know these 2 events were going to come back full circle to me. I had no idea about any of this, right? It's bonkers, you can't, it's not something that you can kind of sit there and actively plan out, but again, that's what I feel happened. I think he sat there and told them, you know what? Just kind of distance yourself from him. Don't talk to him as much, because after that video came out and after that month, things changed. It was like our relationship was never. It just, I mean, like I said, it wasn't a friendship. It was like we had a friendly, cordial relationship going on. But again, it was very, very. Just something changed after that, right? And I want to read you this one quote before I end the video, because I want to tell you what I said to them. This was a year later. I thought I had said this to them. I thought I said this to the Psychic Twins in 2018, before before that video with the collab with the fan predictions came out in September. It didn't. I gotta see if I can find it anyway. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, because again, and seeing what has happened with Shane Dawson over the years, again, I have my own feelings about it. It's a shame that he can't. Again, it's another example of why he just doesn't do the right thing, or kind of calm down. He just gets. It's beyond me. Anyway, I don't know. It's surprising to me, to say the least, that he just wouldn't sit there and ask more questions. But now it doesn't actually surprise me either, because again, same thing. We know he's like that now, right? Or at least that's what he's been showing to us. So I don't know. I feel like he just in the moment was oh my god, it's too late. We have to put it in the video. But then at the same time, why would you put it in the video anyway? But then that jump cut's crazy. It wasn't just a simple jump. They started up again. I've always said in the last video, I'm not gonna say it again, but it's just one of those things where my mind's running, but again, I'm not sitting here just with one actual scenario. I'm sitting with several scenarios, or like I said, if I'm wrong about this, and that's fine. But I just find it such a coincidence that the things I've been seeing with other people over the years is the same thing that's similar to what's going on with me. My thing's not that major anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I just want to talk about it, because it's been 8 years. Why not? Well, it's been 6 years since that happened. A little bit less than 6 years, but why not talk about it if I can? Yeah, I want to see if I can find it really quick. Oh, I did talk to them a few times in April. Oh, they sent me a nice. That was so sweet. I forgot about that. They sent me a really nice a message about my lithotripsy. I had to get kidney stones taken out in April or May of 2020, or in April of 2021, and I guess they saw it on my Facebook account, so they liked it, and they also wrote a nice comment underneath my face. And I told them on Instagram, I said thank you for saying that. So we did talk a few times since after that, but I did the last message I ever talked to them was in 2022. It was in the fall of 2022. Okay. Yeah, these comments got very simple. I can't find it now. Did they take it away? I can't find it. Was it on Twitter? This is a mess. I'm gonna look in Twitter really quick. Please don't go away. I just want to read this to you really quick. Maybe I was in Twitter that I did it on my old account. Psychic Twins. They did ask about something. So I did find what I'm going to tell you about really quick. And again, I'm going to get this done before the 60-minute mark. So I'm just going to maybe 3 or 4 more minutes. I wrote a cryptic tweet on Twitter one day, because I had found out, again, I was going through the rabbit hole, and I was talking to someone at the time who was around, I think she was Sarah's age, I think. She was maybe 3 years older than me. And so we were talking about some stuff, because she had a small channel, and I really liked her. The way she presented stuff was awesome. And we were talking about stuff, and she actually had some knowledge at the time. She was, I don't know if it's true or not. Like with me, like it's alleged. I don't know if it's actually the people themselves, but we were talking about it. So I put a kind of a cryptic tweet on my Twitter account, and the twin said, "Hi Andrew, what were you referring to in your last tweet about YouTube? If you don't mind our asking you, we'll keep it confidential. Hope you can share it with us. Love you, Linda and Terry." And they put XOXO with kisses. So I kind of. I said I can definitely talk about it, but I didn't really tell them the entire truth. I did talk about some things. I was like saying like how some people are really like faking it for YouTube, and like it's much more of a business industry, and things aren't. I'm just really disgusted by it, and like I don't really like it anymore. This was in 2019, mind you, and like I just was like really, I felt grossed out like I did back when I was in 2011 when I was like 15 years old. I was like, I don't want to be around this stuff anymore, right? It's like you're manipulating us to feel a certain way about you, but then you're acting as you're a completely different person off camera, which is contradictory to what you're saying in your videos and what you're trying to show your lifestyle to be for us to actually watch your videos and put money in your bank account, you know. I was talking about David Dobrik. I was talking about Christine Sadelko. I was talking about Shane. I'm not going to say what I said to them. I'm not going to say what I said to them about, you know, the deeper stuff, but I did say I'm sorry for ranting. I was trying to be cohesive in the beginning, but my emotions took hold of me, which they did. There was so much more I could have said, but I would need to write it all in a Word document to you, honestly. If you need me to elaborate more, I can. This is what they said. And I'm not going to say everything because, again, it's not right. It's not really your business anyway. There's some things I would never discuss or put out there that they would know, because they've always been cordial, have always been very business professional. They've never said anything nasty about anybody. They don't do that kind of stuff, right? But again, they're smart, so they kind of have to, they know what's going, they know what's up. Oh my God, believe us, we aren't even making videos anymore because it got to be so intense. And they said this on their Twitter since then, so it's not like this is a new thing, right? This is from 2019, so this is July 26th of 2019. They responded. They've been saying stuff like this since on Twitter. They said like we're done with YouTube. Like they don't like they're not in that. Well, I don't want to say they stopped with YouTube, but they took a break. They said because it was getting too intense. So again, I'm not divulging new information that's already out there. So sorry to hear you have been disillusioned too, but you are more insightful than most, Andrew. You see things others refuse to see, and I believe that because I feel like myself and a few other people on YouTube can see things before they actually happen, in the sense of like where it's going, or like knowing what the real BS is behind the scenes, which is, well, I'm thankful I went to school for this because like I can see it as well. So I'm glad they said that. It was really nice for them to say that. I felt seen for the first time in my life from someone. Well, not exactly, but it was really nice for them to say that. YouTube is like an alternative dimension. It's a young person's game, and we have the benefit of wisdom and seeing the truth of things. It's just much harder when you're older to feel like you can be accepted. We're always very honest, and people had a lot of trouble accepting our insights. I'm going to talk about it in another video, but I'm talking about this real quick too. We believe we are examples of integrity, and we are kind of upset. We kind of upset the apple cart, so to speak. But we'd rather be honest than fake. Don't lose hope, Andrew. There are good souls out there. You are one of them. XOXO. So that's what they wrote to me in my Twitter account. I thought it was in my Instagram. It wasn't. I have to tell you, I have thought this over the years, and I think this actually did happen after the Dramageddon stuff, the 2020 Dramageddon stuff. You saw people. Trish did it. I don't know why. Which I guess she did turn around and say that because it was on the bandwagon. Joey came out and said things about it. I'm trying to think who else said stuff about it. Nick Lush. Remember what was his name? He was like the vegan guy, and he was dating that Nick, whatever his name was. He's from New York, and he lived out in L.A. Matthew Lush. I just remembered. I just blurted it out. He made a video saying that like, they didn't do a good job predicting their stuff and everything. And I have to sit here and tell you this, right? Those videos came out almost like in a sequential time of order, except for Trisha. She said on the H3 podcast years later, like they didn't get the predictions right. I have to believe because they were trying to distance themselves from Shane Dawson after he went crazy and couldn't control himself on that Instagram live in June of 2020 about Tati Westbrook, that everyone felt like, oh crap, we have to distance ourselves from him, which also means the psychic twins. So by doing that and saying that their predictions were fake, that they could distance themselves from him and also the psychic twins, because they're, in their minds they think they're guilty by association, which I don't know if that's true or not, because it's always, the devil is always in the details, and sometimes the details are really bounding. It's difficult to get out of them. I and so I saw Joey do it. I saw someone else do it. I saw Matthew Lush do it. I'm like, why are these people coming out saying that it wasn't true? All this stuff. So I'm a bit lost as to why they would turn around and do that to them, right? But again, for them to say that, think about this, almost 5 years ago, a little bit over 4.5 years ago now, to say that to me in a private conversation, which I'm sorry, girls, if you're watching this, I shouldn't have put this in the video, that conversation we had, but I I'm trying to say this I'm trying to say this without getting in trouble. I think that there's a lot of these YouTubers who are afraid to reveal things they know that if they do, that their world will come crashing down, that they will no longer have the same job or the same money that's coming in, revenue, as it did before, the same way it would afterwards. I think the same thing with, I mean, the twins even said it in several times too with Shane. Like, they had to edit out a lot of stuff in videos because the people would ask them to take stuff out because they want their audiences to know about that kind of stuff, right? So it shows you right there. But it's so sad because, again, it's like, that makes them look like the bad people when it's not. And again, like I said in the first video that I made before this one, like, it would be so difficult to actually sit there and like find out information about every single person. You know how many people you would have to know to get all the details that they know? There's no way. There's just no way it would happen, right? It's impossible. So even if they had good intuition, like, still, like, there's no way. Like, they haven't, like, you just can't do all that by pretending and faking it, like faking these prediction videos, and then like asking them like, oh, do so and so, do you know the dirt on it? Like, it wouldn't. You can't. Like, it wouldn't work like that. But it's just it's interesting to say the least. I feel bad even just saying what I just talked about with that private message they sent me 4 years ago, but I did want to say it because, again, I feel like something did change after that. Even with that conversation, it was like, I don't know, it was different. Something changed after that, and I just feel like, did Shane say something? Did he figure out, like, did he think like I was some creeper and told him to stay away from me? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. If I'm just overthinking it, that's fine. But again, I just find it fascinating how those two things kind of happened at the same time, and they came back around the same time when all that was going on with them. I never told them about that either, that I found Shane Dawson's Facebook or anything. They don't know that. I've never told anyone out about that until now on this video. So, what of it? I think that's everything. I think I talked about all that situation that I wanted to in these two videos with Shane. I have other things I want to say about him, but again, that's more video stuff and, personal stuff I feel about him and everything. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just lost about it. And again, like I said, I found they were fake psychics. Whatever, who cares? They got good intuition because they were doing it. But again, like, it would be so difficult to do that, right? Like, to keep tabs on that many people and then in contacts to figure out what they were doing and behind the scenes, like, it wouldn't work. Like they even said in an interview, we would be much more famous and successful if that was the case, and it's true. Okay, well, I'm going to end it now because it's going to be at 59 minutes. I'm done. Thank you for listening to these 2-hour-long rants. Take care. Next video may come tomorrow. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say in that video about the Facebook stuff. A mess. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go. Bye.